Alright everybody, welcome back to the garage. Okay, so what we're doing today, three things we're going to do that we left out of the last videos that we did. I was going to put grizzly bars on. I'm having a hard time finding ones that fit properly and that will attach easily enough. So what I'm going to do, I did have this leftover piece of flat expanded metal. It's not the riffled type, it's just a flat press expanded metal. So we're going to cut that and make the separator for the larger rocks. Other than that, we're going to make the clamp that goes on top of the mat system that's in the bottom, and I'll show you that in a second. And then the last and final thing we're going to do, we're not going to position it today, but we are going to drill the holes for the spray bars. So we'll get into that a little bit later. I'll take those off so they're not in the way right now. So the first thing we want to do is we want to measure just exactly what size we're going to want our separator to be. Now, it might look like I just need to come to here, but the reality is the longer I make it, the further away the larger rocks are going to go. I mean, I could go way out there. I don't want to do that. This is a portable Highbanker, so what I want to do is just come out a little bit past the lip. And I've measured that off, and we're looking at 18 inches on both sides. So at 18 inches is where I'm going to cut the flat, and I'll show you what I mean by flat. You can see that there's no riffles or anything. It's just flat. It's going to allow the bigger rocks to slide right off. So I'll cut that to 18 inches, and then we'll drill a couple holes, which I've already cheated and done, but we'll drill a couple holes here, and then we'll talk about securing it. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut that. Remember, always wear your gloves and your glasses. Alright, so now we've got her cut. I've rounded up the edges here a little bit so it doesn't, anybody reaches into anything, it's not going to cut their hands or anything. And we're going to place her right about there. Now, as you can see, I have a little tiny bit, probably ½ inch sticking over. All that's going to do is protect the base of the machine and make it so that it doesn't bang on the corner of that every time a rock goes by. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've already drilled the holes, so all I have to do now is tighten her down. Alright, so that is attached, movable enough that anything gets caught in there, just shake it, sturdy enough that it'll just wash right off. So that's what we're going to go with. I'll give you a quick close-up. Next is the matting. So right now we got our V mat on the bottom, our miner's moss on top, and then expanded riffle metal on top of that. So what we want to do is somehow secure that so that the water doesn't migrate underneath of it. Alright, so our V-mat is going to sit right about there. Then our miner's moss will sit on top of that. So I want to throw a clamp up here at the top. So I've already measured this, and then this will go upside down right there like that. I'll trim this down just a little bit. So I've already measured the width, so we'll go ahead and cut that now. All right, I'll show you real quick what we did. All right, we got the rock guard on here, the separator. We've cut the clamp to fit. What we're going to do now is drill 2 holes and secure it down. Then we'll throw our expanded riffle matting back on, and then we'll get into the spray bars. Okay, so we got her done. Give you a quick see what she looks like. So it's compressed onto the mat itself. I'll go from the other angle. And I got wing nuts on there so I can tighten it up, loosen it up if I'm going to do a change. And then on top of that, we're gonna have the expanded metal, and I'll show you that in a sec. All right, guys, we just finished the clamp. The 2 purposes of this is it's gonna hold the miner's moss in place as well. It's gonna keep things from migrating underneath. And if the water gets underneath the VMAT and the miner's moss, it tends to make it vibrate a little bit, which, if you're familiar with gold, it'll vibrate it right out the end of your sluice, and you don't want that. So at least this way it's going to minimize that. So then the next thing to go back, I will wear my gloves for this because the expanded metal is synonymous with sliced skin. So we will throw that back in. And she's a tight fit. It's backwards. Oh, I got over a nut. Over a bolt. So that's what she looks like, ladies and gentlemen. We'll put her back together with, this is what I'm using to flatten the water out, get rid of the water bubbles and stuff. It's just a square riffle mat sandwiched between 2 steel bars, and that'll sit right there. And then a couple of wing nuts to tighten that down. Then the final thing to put back on before we deal with the water is this bad boy right here for the rocks. All right, let's turn this around for you. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is the 2 spray bars. All right, now I have used a couple U-bolts, as you can see here, just to secure it down, and I'll do the same here as well. But for now, we're just going to drill the holes, down each side. And then we're going to run her and see what's what. So, we have a gap of 15 inches. So every inch and a half, that's going to give us 10 holes. And our 10th hole is going to be right here into the cap, and I'm going to drill it at an angle like this. That way I have at least one stream shooting back up. So now that we've got that done, what we're going to do is we're going to measure the straight line, and then we're going to drill some holes. Alright, so I'm going to use 1/8" drill bit first, then we'll run the water through it and make sure that's the size, but we won't do that until we get to the river. So we're going to go with 1/8 now. I'll take the whole set of drill bits out with us when we go to run it, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to go ahead and start drilling. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with this one, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is it. She's all done. We have our separator. We've got our clamp, excuse me, down here to hold our mats in place. We've drilled the holes for our water. So there's the separator that we built. And she extends a little bit past here, like I said. You can see through there, you can see the clamp that's on the matting. I'll show you from the other side. This is how I'm going to run it the first couple of times. So I hope you liked the video. So all that's left now is to actually get out and do a test run, which we will do here shortly. There's still a couple inches of snow on the ground, but as soon as that's gone, we'll get out there. The rivers are open. So yeah, if you found anything useful, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button, turn on your notifications, how you show your support, and it doesn't cost anything, and we do appreciate your support, and we don't want you to miss any of our future videos. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any comments or you want to have a conversation, please feel free to leave comments down below. I respond as quickly as possible. Always open to new dialogue. And if you have built one yourself or notice anything that maybe I could improve on, please feel free to let me know. I'm always looking to improve. I may not improve it before I do the test run, but the next time I do any improvements, I will definitely take all of the suggestions into account, and we'll go from there. So, until the next video, if I don't see you around, I'll see you square.